Hey friends, Mrs. Matway here to talk to you a little bit about the different parts of a map. But before I get to that, I want to talk a little bit about the different types of maps. One type of map that you might use this year is a thematic map. A thematic map has a specific theme or topic that this map is about. So you can see that this map here might have something to do with trade in Europe and Asia. Another type of map that you might use is a political map. A political map is going to show you the boundaries. And in this case, it's showing you the boundaries of states. It might also show you the boundaries of countries. It might identify important cities, or if we're going to get smaller towns and counties, any sort of boundaries. And the last type of map is a physical map. This map is going to show you physical features such as deserts or oceans or seas or peninsulas. It might also show you the elevation of certain parts of this region. So the most important part of any of these maps is going to be the title, because the title is going to tell you what the map is all about. So take a minute and see if you can figure out what the title of this map is right here. You can see clearly in the left-hand corner that this map is called Australia. Let's try another one. Take a look at this political map. What is the title of this political map? The United States. It is in a different corner, the right-hand corner, but it is what this map is all about. It's all about the United States. Let's try one more. What is the title of this map here? If you thought Silk Road and Eurasian trade, you are correct. This is interesting because sometimes thematic maps, the titles can actually be found in the key or the legend. So you have to look around for the titles of the maps because they're going to be in different places. But it's really important that you read them in order to know what the map is all about. Another important component of a map is the compass rose. The compass rose is going to clearly identify the directions north, east, south, and west. Take a second to see if you can find the compass rose on this thematic map of the Silk Road and Eurasian trade. There we go, right here in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and you can see that they clearly identified where north was. Let's try another map. Take a look at this political map. Where is the compass rose? Right over here. Now you may be saying, Mrs. Matway, this is silly. I can find them. They look exactly the same. But it's important because some maps are different, and sometimes north is not always facing directly up. Sometimes it's tilted just a little bit. So I want you to pay attention to that. Now you can see that this compass rose right here clearly showed all of the directions: north, east, south, and west. Sometimes people like to use acronyms to help them remember the order in which the directions come, especially those east and west ones. Sometimes we get really confused. So one acronym is never eat soggy waffles. That's just gross. Don't eat them. Another one is never eat shredded wheat, which is what I learned when I was in elementary school. And a personal favorite of mine, never ever say what? Whatever acronym you use, pick one because it's going to help you remember the order in which the directions come. And that's a really important skill to have when you're studying geography. Let's see if you can find the compass rose on the next map. Right here, right next to the title. Now, it's kind of confusing because they don't really tell you what north is, but if you use your acronym, you will know that north, east, south, and west. Another important part of a map is the distance scale. Map makers cannot create maps that are the actual size of places in the world because those maps would be gigantic. Imagine trying to fold up a map that is a full-size, accurate size map of Australia, fold it up, and put it in your pocket. It wouldn't work. So what map makers do is they use distance scales. And distance scales clearly show what the distance or measurement on a map is equal to in real life. So if you were to measure, and you might want to use a ruler, this distance, every measurement is equal to 500 miles. And you can see at the bottom, they use kilometers for the metric system, which you've probably talked about in science. But we're going to focus on miles just because that's what we use in the United States. Let's see if we can find a distance scale on another map. Where is the distance scale on this political map of the United States? If you said, oh my goodness, Mrs. Matway, there's 3 of them, you are right. There's one right here because this is the distance scale for this teeny tiny map insert of Alaska. This is the distance scale for this teeny tiny map insert of Hawaii. And then this is the distance scale for this larger full map of the United States. So for every measurement you use with your ruler, it's going to be equal to 500 miles. And this one's different. For every little measurement, it's equal to 200 miles. And the same for this distance scale here. Let's try one more. Where is the distance scale located on this thematic map of the Silk Road and Eurasian trade? Awesome. It is right here in the key or the legend. There's a lot of information right here. Title, some symbols, and the distance scale. And you can see it's a little different. For every measurement you have here, it's equal to 1,000 miles. And remember, we're going to focus on the miles portion of it, not the kilometers portion.